Since 1979, Community Energy Project has been driven by the belief that everyone deserves a safe, healthy, and efficient home, regardless of income. CEP continues to provide free home and energy repairs, educational workshops, and efficiency solutions to low-income communities around the Portland metro area. Our successful programming has helped thousands of households live more comfortably and safely, use less energy, save money, and combat the effects of climate change. Hi everybody, and welcome to Community Energy Project's Do-It-Yourself Lead-Safe Home Projects. In this video, we are going to be highlighting what are safe containment and pre-project preparations you will need to get the job done safely. We recommend only doing small or medium-sized projects yourself. For larger scale projects, we suggest seeking professional expertise. Community Energy Project is one of 7 agencies funded by the Portland Water Bureau to provide education and resources around lead poisoning in the county. So feel free to reach out if you need any help finding resources and guidance with your project. Knowing our scope of work will help us to estimate how much containment is necessary. Determining what level of containment you are dealing with will allow you to know what methods would work best for your project. Questions that can help you determine this are: what space will I use? How much dust will be created during this project? And will it be contained within the room? Regardless of the practices, it is most important to limit dust to a minimum. This is not only hazardous to yourself, but also to your family, pets, yard, and neighbors. Think twice before pulling out the sander and getting to work on your old painted home. Number 1 method is to minimize dust. Why is minimizing dust important? There are only 2 ways inorganic lead can enter our body: by breathing in dust or by ingesting small particles. Breathing lead into our lungs is the most dangerous way for both children and adults to be exposed to lead, because almost 100% will be absorbed into our bloodstream within 2 to 3 days. This is the most common way adults are exposed to lead. For children, they primarily ingest lead through hand-to-mouth contact while young, when dirt and dust mixes with their saliva and is swallowed. Children, because of their bodies are still growing and developing, can absorb up to 50% of lead that is ingested, while adults is only about 10%. Our body actually confuses lead and calcium because on a structural level, they are very similar in the way that they bond with our bodies. Calcium is a very important nutrient for brain development, especially during the first 6 years of life. Calcium is used to help build the gray matter of our brains and strengthen the connections that allow us to learn, form memories, make decisions, and have self-control. When lead is mistakenly used in the place of calcium, it has the opposite effect. It decreases the gray matter being formed and weakens our connections. The long-term impacts of childhood lead exposure can be learning disabilities or behavioral problems later on in life. For adults, we see similar impacts that may lead to early onset Alzheimer's or dementia because of impact to the gray matter. When working on an indoor project involving lead-based paint, it is important to remove everything you can from the immediate area of work. Items that are too heavy or awkward to move should be covered with a 4mm sheet of plastic that is taped to the floor to create an airtight barrier from dust. The plastic used for covering furniture and items does not have to be as thick as what you might use to cover a section of floor. As a general rule, you can use a thinner 4mm plastic for covering objects and a heavier 6mm plastic for floor and door barriers. 6mm plastic sheeting is relatively inexpensive. Make sure to get plastic that will allow you to see where dust/paint lands. Black plastic for white paint and white plastic for dark paint. Federal guidelines suggest extending plastic sheeting 6 inches in all directions away from the work area. Knowing the work practices beforehand may give you a clue as to the necessity of this, but work involving sanding, excessive scraping, or large window removal will need to have plastic in place that extends well past the work zone. 6 inches is minimum, not maximum. Make sure there is a buffer and no dust is landing at the edge of the containment. And remember that the higher you work, the larger the trajectory for debris to fall. Secondary containment is recommended if you are using paint strippers on vertical surfaces. Using pie tins or similar disposable containers, capture any extra stripper or debris. Make sure to keep a primary layer of plastic in place, like a plastic drop cloth or even a newspaper, under your secondary containment method. Projects can take a long time, so make sure you clean as you go. Lead dust settling on floors and in vents during remodeling can be a serious problem. Properly protecting your floors and air vents from dust and debris is simple and important. Shut off HVAC systems during work to prevent blowing dust and to allow for effective sealing of vents. Remember that vents can be on the ceilings or walls and should be sealed from dust wherever they are. Tape 6mm plastic sheeting low on the baseboard and then refold the plastic and tape again, slightly higher to add an extra measure of security in case the plastic gets pulled from the wall. Be sure that the plastic is taped securely flush against the wall at all points. Protection of the floor is especially important with carpeted surfaces as they are nearly impossible to clean adequately if they become contaminated with lead-based paint dust. Make sure to seal off fireplace openings as well. Small containment is the easiest. In this picture example, a thermostat is being removed from a wall that is tested positive for lead paint. We want to capture all the debris that may be generated from its removal. Taping a plastic bag directly under the thermostat may be all that is needed. Specific tools are available that can capture debris from drilling holes. However, this would need to be attached to a HEPA vacuum in order to work. Dustless, a company that specializes in HEPA vacuums, makes the dust bubble, which acts like a small balloon that inflates during drilling. Any debris is captured in the balloon instead of flying all over the place. Medium containment will need some kind of plastic sheeting, preferably the thicker the better so that it doesn't tear. If scraping the paint from an antique or a window frame, a large square sheet of plastic may be sufficient. If working in the kitchen, it is very important to cover all food preparation surfaces with sheeting. While paint debris can be cleaned during and after work, containing it from the beginning is the safest strategy. Large lead paint jobs are out of the scope of this workshop. However, in general, plastic containment is crucial for limiting dust transfer outside of the work area. We don't recommend DIYers to do these large-scale projects without taking the RRP class or working with contractors. Depending on the scope of the work, barriers and warning signs may need to be posted. For example, projects on the outside of the house may need to notify persons such as postal workers or utilities workers about lead paint work. Always, always, always keep children away from any lead paint work until thorough cleanup is complete. Containment equals containing people as well as space. Make a sign to keep friends and neighbors out, and scare neighbors with red tape. Yellow caution tape doesn't do much, but red does. When working on exterior projects, consider closing doors and windows within 20 inches of the exterior work zone. Also consider if it's appropriate to tell your neighbors about your work plans, and have them close doors and windows as well. Outside containment requires 10 inches minimum from where the project is happening. This does not just mean 10 inches of plastic over a bush. Barriers around the site like caution tape helps keep a buffer to prevent anyone from entering the work zone. Make sure to check the weather conditions for wind and don't blow lead dust into your neighbor's yard. When you're taking on a job involving lead, you don't want to be consistently leaving the work area to fetch one tool or another that you need. Consistently leaving the work area risks tracking lead dust out into your living area. Gather all your required tools in the work area on top of the plastic sheeting before you begin your project. If you need to walk off the plastic often, consider wearing booties or using a sticky tack pad to remove dust from the bottom of your shoes. People can be the biggest breach from tracking dust and debris in and out of the work area. If you need any more help on your lead-safe home project, check out our other videos on post-project cleaning methods, lead-safe tools and work practices, and proper lead-safe personal protective equipment. Or if you have any questions or need help finding resources concerning your lead-safe home project, feel free to contact us today.